Hey there, Andrea Seidel here. I hope you're doing amazing. I am so excited because, and you know me, I always get so excited when we actually have authors as guests on the show because they put so much love and attention and experience and knowledge into these books that are just, I always say they're little presents. Like when we open them up, they're just like, there's so many opportunities for learning and growth and transformation. And this is no exception. I have to say that when I was really young in grade two, I actually had a huge fear. I almost missed a whole entire year of school because of crippling anxiety. And I won't go into all the details because it's kind of gross, but I actually was sick. I threw up in my class and everybody kind of laughed or they were grossed out by me. And they were like, it was just like, it was not a great experience for me. And then so much so to the point where I was scared to go to school because I was scared that I would be sick. And I was so scared. I had so much fear of being sick that I would make myself sick. I would feel actually sick. And it was such a tough year for me. And I have to say that this book that we are going to talk about with the author is such a great book, and it would have helped me so much when I was going through this. So without further ado, I'm so excited because if you're listening today, this book is available. It is called Benjamin's Quest for Bravery. It's Benjamin's journey of bravery and the magic of overcoming fear together. Such a great book. And we have Gia Laruent on the show. Welcome, Gia.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So I always ask my authors to tell us, I know it's a huge question because there's so many, elements to you, but tell us a tiny bit about yourself, like something really amazing for the listener to know about you.
So this is my very first book. I've wanted to do a children's book for a long time. I wanted it to be captivating and mesmerizing for people who will read it and something that they can take with them to cherish with them. So I thought a children's book is definitely on the rise. So that's kind of what I went with. Prior to that, I made a film, so I'm a filmmaker. I also have my own podcast called Ignite the Chat, which is a mental health community. So I'm a podcast host, I'm a producer, filmmaker, and speaker on mental health and women's health. So I do a lot of different things.
So amazing. And so, yes, you're definitely the authority to be writing a book about this. And what a touching book. Can you tell us what inspired you to write this book?
So many different things. But the main focal point of why this book came to my mind was just in regards to my best friend. She has a daughter named Ava, and she had an experience that was she was really courageous and brave about. And even though she was, it frightened her. She worked through it, and we were there to kind of like cheer her on and say, things are going to be fearful in life, but you did the brave and courageous thing by facing your fears and moving forward. So this was generally inspired by her. But also, I had my own battle with fear my whole life. And just recently, during the height of COVID, I was diagnosed with cancer. And that was a very fearful time for me. And I had an incredible person walk me through that entire experience, and she taught me that to face your fears, like in the presence of fear, that is when you're most courageous. So it's not that one or the other is present, they're both present at the same time.
Oh, I love this. And oh my gosh. And I know your journey because we've come to know each other, and your bravery and your courage is just, I celebrate you almost every time that we have a conversation together. And yes, and I love that you bring that up, that they coincide together. Is that like, yes, there's fear. So it's not really that we're overcoming fear, but we're also, bringing in other elements and being able to tap into our courage and also to understand fear in almost a new way.
Yes, absolutely.
I love this. And so I know my favorite part about your book is basically that it really does walk you through this amazing journey of providing almost like tools and strategies and just an uplifting, it's almost like a warm blanket of a hug to make you not only feel alone if you do have fears, it really does humanize that fear is a part of being human. And I just love the element within your book that is all about, it's so encouraging, and it's all about recognizing that, you know what, it's like embracing the humanness of fear and seeing it not as a fault, but see how we can work with it. I just love that positivity throughout your entire book. So I'm curious, what is your favorite part about your book?
I love the same thing that you said. I just think that I always in my mind, I always think if I knew then what I know now. So the most important thing to me is to teach young people everywhere. Um, you can do anything. Anything is possible. Have a really good mindset or try to. And it's not always easy because fear is always going to be there. It's not just present as a young person. It follows you and trickles throughout your life. So if you have really great tools to kind of bring you through them, you can do anything. So I think my favorite part of the book is just how timid my main character Benjamin is. He's just so sweet and shy, and he just I think he'd resonate with everyone. I think you could find a little bit of Benjamin inside of everyone. So I know I did. I completely resonated with the character. Obviously, when I wrote him, yeah, it's just he's my favorite. He's my favorite, and just how he tackles his feelings. You know, he's not sure how to feel about certain things, but he works through it with the help of everybody around him, and that's what it's all about. You're not alone in this journey of life. You always have people beside you that you can talk to and speak about what does bring you fear or gives you some anxiety, and people will help you through it because we all go through it. We all go through it, whether we voice it or not.
Ah, it's so true. And what I love about your book is, yes, it's targeted towards children and it's a children's book. And it's so true. Like when you look at Benjamin, like the illustrations is just so adorable. And you can relate so much with Benjamin, and his sister, Charlotte, is just so cute, all the characters. And I
Yeah.
love how you incorporate and really emphasize this idea that you're not alone and that there are resources and people around you that support and love you, whether that be, a sister or a coach or a therapist. And what's really amazing and fascinating about your book too is that you're kind of writing it for the parent as well. And I love that you bring that into it, and you share with us just now that, yeah, fear isn't just something that we have as children and it goes away. And so I really like that you bring that in, and also a lot of parents will benefit from reading this book as well to their children, and recognize, you know what, yeah, if they do get a scary diagnosis, like yourself, and fear kicks in, it's amazing how your book can also help so many others, and everyone who's reading this book. And so
Yeah.
I do enjoy that part too, about that you say like that fear is merely a feeling, and it's a feeling just like happiness and excitement, and that we can work with it, work with those feelings. And it's not like sweeping it under the carpet and pretend it doesn't exist. It's like, okay, there's that fear feeling again. And like, so what are some tools and strategies to navigate it?
Yeah, because it's not going away. You're always going to have things that make you afraid, but you're also going to have things that make you excited and happy and sad and peaceful. So it's just a feeling, but it's also normal. I want to normalize fear. And I think there's just so much negativity around the word, but I also think that fear helps you. Fear propels you forward. Fear makes you unstoppable. Once you know how to manage it, once you know that it is natural and that it's just something that's going to come and go like any other feeling, but it can make you do some incredible, magical things.
And that's so true, right? Is it like that expression, feel the fear and do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
um, And I love that you bring up that it's that bravery isn't the absence of fear, that they can coexist together. And that's just such a beautiful message. And that recognizing that it's not a character flaw to have fear. And that I love your positivity through your whole entire book and the humanness of it. So who is it that you wrote this book for?
I wrote it for the children I was never able to have. I wasn't unfortunately blessed to have kids, but all of my friends and family have children. And, I'm very much a mama bear, even with, my friends and family members. I'm always trying to encourage people, always trying to be there to listen and to uplift. So I wrote it for really everyone, but then I wrote it for me, for the young me who was always afraid, the little girl inside me who was always afraid of everything, always afraid to try something because I would fail. Writing was a big part of that. I've been writing since I was 9, and I literally always wanted to have a book that I published in my hand since I could hold a pen. It's always been my dream, but I was too afraid. And I think this entire journey that I've been on the last 3 years just again propelled me forward. That fear that I felt just made me feel unstoppable. And I wrote it for her. I wrote it for her. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Gia, I'm just celebrating you and your courage and your bravery and your example. You're an example. And the fact that you wrote it for the younger version of yourself, that just touches my heart in so many ways. And in the recognition of that tender young version of yourself, it's almost like your older version's talking to it and helping it through. And
Right.
there are so many children out there that were and are the young Gias, like just like you, and they are going to benefit from your book so much, and just your loving embrace throughout your book and your words of wisdom, and also all the characters in your book are just so magical, and just like your whole book has a wonderful approach to helping people confront fears head on and with courage and bravery. And I'm just so excited for your book. So we are celebrating you and your courage and your bravery of bringing your book to life. What are you most excited about? Where are you going from here with this book?
We're having a launch party on November 30th, open to the public. It's an event, again, for children of all ages. Even though it's a children's book, primarily between the ages of 6 and 11, it's for everyone. It's for parents, it's for older generations, the children, and all of us. So it's an open event. Can't wait to see everyone there. So that is like the first thing happening. But honestly, I can't wait to see everyone's reaction when they read it.
Oh,
Can't
yeah.
Yeah.
And so your party is here in Ontario. So if you happen to be in Canada, Ontario, in the Vaughan area, we would love to have you join us for the party, the launch party. However, we also will have a lot of fun events coming up just to promote and celebrate your book.
Yeah.
And so if there's one last thing that you want to share with the listener, what would it be?
Don't be afraid to try or do anything. And most importantly, never be afraid to be yourself. You're never alone in your feelings, and there's always other people feeling exactly like you do. So you might as well share
Oh, I love that. Yay.
it.
So, Benjamin's Quest for Bravery, Benjamin's journey of bravery and the magic of overcoming fear together. Such a good book by Gia Laurent, and it is illustrated by Calvin Femme as well. And oh my gosh, illustrations are so fun and magical, and he did such a great job.
Amazing
So,
job.
together you both have created such an amazing book, and I'm so excited that you're bringing this book to life. Now, I always do free giveaways, so what I'm going to do is, if you're listening to this podcast or wherever you're listening, take a screenshot of this episode and share it to social, and then make sure you tag me in it so that I know you've done it. And what I'll do is enter you into a draw, and I'm going to give away 5 copies of this book, and that's my gift to you. So for sure, share away, and that'll help also promote and allow Gia's book to reach and get into the hands of people that need it. Because let's face it, we all have this emotion, and why not offer amazing support for our younger generation?
Absolutely.
Yay. Well, thank you so much, Gia, for being here and for
Thank you.
sharing your amazing wisdom.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.